Hello, welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult knowledge. Today, we're going to discuss, do you know where your power comes from? Stay tuned. Okay, so today I want to talk about something. This is something that's come up a few times with members that have been emailing me questions or asking questions privately on the Discord, even on the Patreon channel. And if you haven't and you'd like to support us, we do have a Patreon. There is a link below. Be sure to check that out. Now, with that said, however, where does our power come from? This is actually a fascinating question. This has sparked a lot of fascinating conversations, and it's because of that that I felt this was totally worth doing a video for. Now, of course, in Magic, we know all the energy that flows throughout the multiverse is what we manipulate and what we alter and what we change in order to create those manifestations. So wouldn't that be where our power comes from? Not really. If that was the case, then every practitioner would just be one cookie cutter of the exact, and there'd be no differentials, there'd be no differences at all in how we work and why we work and why certain things work better for certain magicians than others. Now, I've already cleared up on this channel. I don't buy into the gifts concept because I have never found a magician that cannot learn a skill. Talent, I'll give. I'll give credit to talent because some magicians pick up certain things easier. But there's not one magical craft that is literally gifted only. Let's just put it that way. I've never seen any proof or evidence of that. I've heard a lot of people claim it, but all the claims have been able to be taught to people who they flat out said didn't have the gift. So, talents, yes. Gifts, no. So, what is it that perhaps helps us to develop our talents, or why is it some of us excel in certain areas or certain styles of practice over others? And that, for me at least, is a working theory and ideal that I've been playing with for a few years. And that is so far being determined as, what is your power? Where does your power come from? The Jets are going to make this video hard today. Okay, so with that, we know that we utilize our will in order to manipulate the energies that we've already talked about in the multiverse. And that is true, we do. Our will is actually the guiding factor here, as is our thoughts. So, what I have come to find and have shared with my students, and honestly it seems to help them out in their practice a lot, is to find out what motivates your thoughts and your will. And if you ask me, that is truly what is the source of your power. Now, some people are a bit more passive than others. Some people are more aggressive than others. So you could look at these types of emotions as to what's going to guide you. I do know a lot of passive people have a lot easier time with healing because it's a more calming sensation. They're able to work with those calming energies and kind of calm the person and lower the stress levels so that they can heal. Now, that's not to say an aggressive personality can't be a healer. In fact, they can. Though, percentage-wise, they tend to have a harder time with healing because they don't have the patience often. However, there are aggressive people who have found ways to utilize the aggression into an aggressive form of healing that it might not necessarily be calming, but it doesn't agitate the person either, but it does speed up the healing process. And that's perfectly fine. This is why we can utilize these ideals if we understand where our power is coming from. And there are people who use their emotions, and we could sit here all day long and go through a list of emotions that might be a dominant emotion for you. But my suggestion is to sit down and actually Think about it. What emotions motivate me? What does motivate me in my life? Am I motivated? Because I've met people, they don't know what motivates them and they don't feel motivated. And that is a tricky one. I mean, for me, it's my love of knowledge that drives me forward and begins to get me motivated into seeking, searching, and learning. And that is why I do the research I do. However, on top of that, I also have a desire to challenge myself, to push myself, to try and be better than I was yesterday. I always want to rise to that next challenge. That's a huge motivator to me, and that's one of the reasons I do throw myself into my research and my work so fully. So there is that. Now, of course, in anyone's life, there's going to be hard times. I was taught that when hard times come, you hit back harder. You don't give up. And I got a whole hell of a lot of never quit in me. And because of that, anytime an obstacle comes up, I actually double down. It motivates me to work much, much harder no matter how trying the circumstances get. So I know that. I do definitely have one of those stubborn personalities about me. But it is something I recognize, and it's something I understand is also one of my traits that, if used properly, is empowering. And that said, I also don't give anyone who's going to harm me, my family, or my friends, or my community any quarter. I don't care what their excuse is. If you want to harm those I care about, there's a hard line. You don't cross it. You cross it, one of us is going to have to back down, and it won't be me, or I'm dead. Again, that's just a personality trait. That's a very warrior-like aspect that comes out in me. And again, something I was taught by a mentor of mine many years ago. And I'm very thankful for his teachings. I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have made it to where I am in life. And I wouldn't be able to help the people I can help today here on this channel if it wasn't. But the reason I give these examples of me is because the best way to find out where your power comes from is to sit down with your journal and list out those traits. What motivates you? What excites you? What encourages you? Whether it be emotions, actions, principles, honor, what is it? For some people, for a lot of people, their spirituality, their belief, or their faith is the motivating factor in their life. That is why they wake up. That is why they get going. That is why they do what they do. And that's perfectly fine. Others, like myself, it is just a search for knowledge. And some, they want to challenge themselves daily. They constantly want to push themselves, new discoveries, new experiences. Again, I get that. That's one of mine. That's okay. For some people, it's just the excitement of creativity and art. That's fine as well. There's nothing wrong with it. There is no correct answer to this question. But this is the important thing. Understanding what is motivating you, understanding what is driving you, and figuring out how you can utilize that to allow you to focus on your practice and your magic will give you a much, much sharper laser focus on any of your rituals, your spell workings, your meditations, whatever it is you're applying yourself to, and that will magnify and multiply your results and your manifestations in your practice. So I know this is a little different than the videos we do, but this is a discussion that I've had with my students. I've had it with people through email, and every time someone has sat down and asked these questions, sat down and meditated to find out what drives them, what motivates them, what pushes them forward, what excites them. Those kinds of questions, when they could answer them and then they was able to understand it and apply it to their magic, their results at the least tripled, if not better. So I hope you'll take the time, sit down with your journal, meditate on this, and try and figure out 3 to 5 things that you can identify for sure that motivate you and who you are today. Now, I say that as who you are today for a reason. We will change as we grow and get older in our lives and move further down our path. That's fine. This is something self-mastery is about understanding who you are now, who you want to be, and who you have become. So it's a constant, ongoing process. And this is something you will continue to do the rest of your life, and that's perfectly fine. But always maintaining that understanding of who you are, that is what's going to help you with your self-mastery, self-empowerment, and manifest the life you want. All right? With that, do be sure to join us Friday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we do our live streams. If you want to help us out, support the channel, pop over to our Patreon. We have a lot of different perks for Patreon members over there. And of course, you can always join us over on the Discord, where many of the people have been asking these very questions, and chat with us. And until next time, everyone, you have a fantastic week, and take it easy. Bye-bye.